Hello friends, in this video we will first prepare the salt nickel sulfate hexahydrate and then we make the double salt nickel ammonium sulfate. Nickel sulfate was initially prepared by using nickel metal and sulfuric acid, and then it was used to make the double salt nickel ammonium sulfate. Nickel ammonium sulfate has both nickel sulfate and ammonium sulfate in it. It has a much stable crystalline structure when compared to nickel sulfate alone, and this compound is used for electroplating nickel. So we move on to the preparation of nickel sulfate hexahydrate. For this, we will need 3 grams of pure nickel metal and 50 ml of 1 molar sulfuric acid. The 1 molar sulfuric acid was first poured into the nickel metal pieces, which was taken in a 250 milliliter beaker. As you can see, the reaction is pretty much dormant and nothing is actually happening. Then I added 30% hydrogen peroxide solution in small lots. I added a total of 20 milliliters of the hydrogen peroxide. You can notice that the reaction has started to set in as bubbles are being formed. I also heated the reaction mixture, which made the reaction proceed very fast, and soon you see the color of the solution has turned green and a lot of bubbles of hydrogen gas is being released. What is happening here is the nickel metal reacts with sulfuric acid to form nickel sulfate and hydrogen gas. I slowly heated the contents of the beaker for a few hours and then evaporated the solution, and as you can see, we have a very concentrated dark green colored solution and all the nickel metal has reacted completely. The solution was then allowed to cool down overnight, and you can see the green colored crystals of nickel sulfate hexahydrate was formed. You can place the beaker in a refrigerator for about 6 to 7 hours so that maximum crystallization will take place. And then you can decant off the supernatant solution, and here we have the crystals. The next step is to filter these crystals, and I use the Buckner funnel and a vacuum filtration setup for that. After that, I just washed the crystals with some ice cold acetone in order to remove any excess water and other impurities present on the compound. After drying the compound, I weighed the compound and it was 13 grams of nickel sulfate hexahydrate, and actually the amount is pretty high compared to the amount of nickel metal used. We used 3 grams of nickel metal and we ended up getting 13 grams of nickel sulfate, and most of it is due to the 6 water molecules attached to each molecule of nickel sulfate. Now we move on to the preparation of nickel ammonium sulfate double salt. Stoichiometry is very important in making double salt, so we accurately weigh the reactants. First of all, we weigh 6.1 grams of the nickel sulfate hexahydrate, which we just prepared. .2 grams of ammonium sulfate was then measured out. Both of the compounds, that is the ammonium sulfate and the nickel sulfate hexahydrate, were transferred to a larger beaker. Here I am using a 100 milliliter beaker. Then we just mix it around well, and then 30 milliliters of distilled water was added to it. With the help of a glass stirring rod, just mix it around well so that both the salts get dissolved in water. It took some time for me. For easy dissolution, you can gently warm the solution in a water bath. Do not boil the solution, and after warming the solution you will get a nice green clear solution. The solution was then allowed to cool down to room temperature, and it was allowed to sit for about 12 to 24 hours, and by that time you can see the nice crystals of the double salt nickel ammonium sulfate being formed. It was then placed in a refrigerator overnight, that is around 12 hours for complete crystallization, and those crystals were then filtered using a vacuum filtration, and this is the final result, and these are the nice crystals of ammonium nickel sulfate. With this, we come to the end of this video. Hope you all have loved my video. A big shout out to all my Patreon supporters who are financially helping me to do more videos. And because of them, I am able to purchase more chemicals and equipments needed for my new videos. Those who are not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell button for notifications. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.